All right, here we go. Evaluating using laws of exponents. So, um, want to not do what the directions say first and show you with radicals and show you what you already know, and then use that to go back and use the exponents, which I think are going to be a little more difficult at first. I think later on you'll actually enjoy them a lot more. But we have 32 to the 1/4 power, and so that's going to be the fourth root of 32, and 32 is the first power if you want to think it that way. Now that's going to be, another way to think of that is going to be the fourth root of 16 times 2. So we just took 32 and broke it up into 16 times 2. And what times itself 4 times gives you 16? Well, that's going to be 2. So we have 2 times, and then this 2 inside is still left over, 2 times the fourth root of 2. That's our first answer. And actually, let's go ahead and write that down here. We'll erase it later on, but A is going to be 2 to the fourth root of 2. And there's the radical of it. Next, we've got 16 to the negative 1/4. And so we've got that negative drops it, switches our base. So we have 1 over 16 to the 1/4. All right. Now we just did 1/4 here actually for this last problem. So hopefully that part maybe you're able to say, hey, wait a second. I don't even need to switch this into radical form. 1/4, that means what number times itself 4 times gave me 16? This one's going to be 1/2. Okay, or 1 over 2. So if we had 1 over 16 to the 1/4, that's 1 over 2. 16 to the 1/4 is 2. So there's problem B. We don't even need to look at the radicals. I think you guys are probably on board on that one. Next, we have 8 to the 2/3 power. And so 2 ways to kind of think about this one as far as just radicals. And we're going to have the cube root of 8 squared. Now, what is 8 squared? That's going to be 64. So 64, the cube root of 64. What times itself 3 times gives you 64? And that's going to be 4. So remember that C is 4, and we'll come back and do that one as a as an exponent in just a moment as well. D, that is 8 to the negative 2/3. And so first off, we're going to have that negative drop it down. So we have 1 over 8 to the 2/3. And hey, we just said that 8 to the 2/3. We just did that. That's 4. And so let's go ahead and help ourselves out. That means it's going to be 1 over 4. So we already know that 8 to the 2/3 is 4. This negative brings it down to the denominator. So really the ones we want to go back and look at then are A and C. And so let's look at these in kind of terms of exponents. So right here, if there's a number that I know the fourth root of, then I can just break that up. And so 32, that is 2 to the 1/4 times 16 to the 1/4. And 16 to the 1/4, as we talked about a little bit earlier, we know that one. That is 2. 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 gives us 16. So I know that 2 to the 1/4 times 16 to the 1/4 is really just 2 to the 1/4 times 2. And so we end up with 2 times 2 to the 1/4, which there we are. Next, we have C, right? C was 8 to the 2/3. Now, notice that exponent, that 2 on top, really squares it. And it's going to be the one we do the base to that exponent. So what is 8 squared? Well, it's 64. And then the cube root of 64, again, I think we can reason through that pretty reasonably, is going to be 4. 4 times 4 times 4 is that 64. So a couple different ways to think about those, and whichever one really is the most clear to you, then that is your your best option. But hope that helps. All right.